Most people are waiting for a hero. They're waiting for a politician, a partner, or a miracle to walk through the door and fix their broken reality. They are going to die waiting. Welcome to Liberty Listen. You aren't here for comfort. You aren't here for hustle culture platitudes or feel-good bedtime stories. You are here because you've realized that the only person coming to save you is the person looking back at you in the mirror. This is the sanctuary of the disciplined, the home of the sovereign. Here, we don't just summarize books, we dismantle the excuses that have kept you small. We bridge the gap between the life you have and the life you are capable of seizing. If you are ready to stop being a spectator in your own existence, if you are ready to take extreme ownership and lead yourself forward, then you belong here. Before we begin the descent into Chapter 1, like this audio, not for the algorithm, but as a digital contract with yourself that you are present and focused. Subscribe to Liberty Listen. Make this channel your base of operations for mental fortification. Turn off the distractions. The world can wait. Your transformation cannot. The clock is ticking. Your potential is bleeding out. It's time to stop talking and start doing. This is Liberty Listen. Let's get to work. Chapter 1. The Mirror of Truth, the Doctrine of Ownership. Your life is not a series of accidents. It is a series of results. If you are sitting in a room you hate, doing a job that drains your soul, surrounded by people who don't inspire you, that is a result. It is the physical manifestation of every yes you shouldn't have said and every no you were too afraid to utter. The anatomy of the victim mindset. Most people spend their entire lives looking for a villain to blame for their lack of success. They blame the economy. They blame their upbringing. They blame the system. They do this because blame is comfortable. Blame is a sedative. If it's someone else's fault, you don't have to do the work to fix it. But here is the cold, hard truth that most people never make the shift to understand. If you aren't the problem, you can't be the solution. When you say, "I'm stuck because of my boss," you are giving your boss the keys to your freedom. You are saying, "I am a prisoner until he decides to let me go." That is weakness. Extreme ownership means looking at that same boss and saying, "I am here because I haven't made myself valuable enough to leave yet. I am here because I haven't built my own exit ramp. This is on me." The mirror test. I want you to imagine a mirror, not a physical one, but a psychological one. Every morning before you check your phone, before you let the noise of the world in, you stand before it. Question 1. Am I lying to myself about my effort? Question 2. If I lived every day exactly like I lived yesterday, where will I be in 5 years? Question 3. Who am I protecting by staying small? The sovereignty of the self. Taking ownership is the ultimate act of rebellion. In a world that wants you to be a victim because victims are easy to sell to, easy to control, and easy to predict, being a sovereign individual is dangerous. It means you stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for the right time. You realize that the right time is a ghost. It doesn't exist. There is only now and what you choose to do with it. Chapter 2. The Action Gap, the Death of Procrastination. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. We live in an age where you can learn anything for free, yet most people are more confused than ever. Why? Because they are drowning in learning as a way to avoid doing. The procrastination paradox. We procrastinate not because we are lazy, but because we are afraid. We are afraid that if we actually start, we might fail, or worse, we might realize how much time we wasted. Procrastination is a sophisticated defense mechanism for the ego. As long as you are preparing, you can't be judged. As long as you are researching, you are safe from the reality of the market, the gym, or the relationship. Closing the gap. The distance between the person you are and the person you want to be is measured in uncomfortable actions. The 5-second rule of execution. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds, or your brain will kill the urge. Analysis paralysis. Stop looking for the best way. The best way is the one you actually do. A mediocre plan executed with obsession will beat a perfect plan that stays on a whiteboard every single time. The myth of motivation. If you wait until you feel like doing something, you have already lost. Motivation is a fair weather friend. It shows up when the sun is out and the coffee is hot, but success is built in the rain. It's built when you're tired, when you're bored, and when you're questioning why you started in the first place. Discipline is the ability to carry out a resolution long after the mood in which it was made has left you. That is the Enceladus way. No emotion, just execution. Chapter 3. Habitual Warfare. Architecting the Machine. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your life is a collection of automated scripts. If you haven't intentionally written those scripts, someone else has written them for you. The compound effect of failure. A single cigarette doesn't give you cancer. One missed workout doesn't make you weak. 1 hour of mindless scrolling doesn't make you a failure, but the habit of doing these things creates a trajectory. If you shift your flight path by just 1 degree, you won't notice it for the first mile, but over 1,000 miles, you will end up in a different country. Designing for success. You must treat your environment like a laboratory. 1. Eliminate friction for good habits. If you want to work out, put your shoes next to the bed. If you want to read, put the book on your pillow. 2. Increase friction for bad habits. If you spend too much time on your phone, put it in another room. If you eat junk food, don't keep it in the house. 3. The power of never miss twice. Perfection is a trap. You will slip. You will fail. But the rule of the elite is simple. Never miss twice. 1 miss is an accident. 2 misses is the start of a new bad habit. Chapter 4. The Comfort Trap. The Poison of Ease. Modern society is designed to keep you comfortable, sedentary, and distracted. We have food delivered to our doors, entertainment in our pockets, and climate control in our rooms. We have evolved to survive in harsh conditions, but we are dying in the soft ones. The psychology of resistance. The resistance is that inner voice that tells you to take it easy. It is the voice that says, "You've worked hard enough today." That voice is your enemy. It is the voice of the person you are trying to kill so that your best self can live. Seek discomfort. To grow, you must voluntarily seek out the things that suck. The cold shower, it's not about the water. It's about the mental victory of doing something you didn't want to do first thing in the morning. The extra rep, it's the one you do when your muscles are screaming that actually causes the growth. The hard conversation, the thing you are avoiding is exactly what you need to face to find peace. Chapter 5. The Silent Standard. Integrity in the Dark. The world is full of people who are alpha on social media but beta in private. They post the gym selfies but skip the sets when no one is looking. They talk about hustle but sleep until noon when there's no meeting. The internal reputation. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you are telling your subconscious mind, "I am a liar. My word means nothing." This is why so many people have low self-esteem. It's not because they aren't enough, it's because they don't trust themselves. You cannot be confident if you are a traitor to your own intentions. The standard of one. Your standard should be so high that you don't need a boss to manage you. You don't need a coach to yell at you. You are your own hardest critic. You work like someone is trying to take everything away from you. You act like your ancestors are watching you, wondering if their sacrifice was worth it. Chapter 6. The Architect of Identity. Becoming the Vision. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not even your current circumstances. You are the person you decide to be in this very second. Most people live their lives looking through a rearview mirror. They define themselves by what they were: the athlete who got injured, the student who failed, the person who got their heart broken. When you do this, you are anchoring your future to a dead version of yourself. The identity shift. To change your life, you must first change your identity. You cannot consistently perform in a way that is inconsistent with who you believe you are. If you believe you are a procrastinator, your brain will find ways to make you procrastinate to prove you right. If you believe you are bad with money, you will subconsciously bleed cash until you are broke again. The solution: stop trying to change your behavior and start deciding your identity. The decision: I am a disciplined person. The evidence: every time you wake up on time, you are casting a vote for that new identity. The reinforcement: you don't try to go to the gym, you go because that is what a disciplined person does. Acting as if. This is not fake it until you make it. That is a lie. This is believe it until you build it. I want you to visualize the highest version of yourself, the version that has the body, the bank account, and the respect you crave. How does that person walk into a room? How do they handle a crisis? Do they stutter? Do they slouch? Do they waste 3 hours on TikTok? No, that version of you is a predator of goals. If you want to become that person, you must start acting like them before you have the results. You don't wait for the money to act like a professional. You act like a professional until the money has no choice but to find you. Chapter 7. The Guillotine of Excuses. The End of Justification. An excuse is a silent killer. It is the sophisticated language of a coward. It is how the mind protects itself from the pain of realization. When you say, "I didn't have time," what you are actually saying is, "I am not in control of my life." When you say, "It's too hard," you are saying, "I prefer comfort over my own dreams." The vocabulary of victims. Examine your language. I can't. I have to. It's not fair. Someday. These words are poison. Replace them with the language of a sovereign. Instead of "I can't," say "I won't." It's a choice. Instead of "I have to," say "I get to." It's a privilege. Instead of someday, say today. The no matter what clause. You need to create non-negotiables. A non-negotiable is a task that gets done regardless of the weather, your mood, your health, or your schedule. If your non-negotiable is reading 10 pages a day, you do it, even if you're tired, even if it's midnight, even if you're traveling. Excuses thrive in the gray area of "I'll try." They die in the black and white of "I will." Chapter 8. The Currency of Time. Wealth Management of the Soul. If I walked into your house and stole $10,000 from your safe, you would call the police. You would be outraged. You would hunt me down. Yet you let social media algorithms steal 4 hours of your day every single day, and you don't even blink. Time is the only asset you cannot replenish. You are dying every second. The clock is ticking toward your inevitable end. Does that make you uncomfortable? Good. It should. The efficiency trap versus effectiveness. Most people are busy being ineffective. They answer emails all day, they organize their desks, they have meetings about meetings. This is active procrastination. You are doing work to avoid the real work. The 80-20 of time. 80% of your results come from 20% of your activities. What is the one thing that if you did it today would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Do that thing first, before the world wakes up, before the emails start. Do that thing. The value of no. Your time is a gated community. You are the security guard at the front gate. Most people let anyone in. They let toxic friends in. They let pointless requests in. They let distractions in. To win, you must become a master of the word no. No, I can't grab a drink. No, I won't hop on a quick call. No, I'm not interested. Every no to the world is a yes to your future. Chapter 9. The Anatomy of Radical Honesty. Stripping the Ego. You are lying to yourself. We all are. We lie to protect our egos from the fact that we are lazy, scared, or undisciplined. We tell ourselves we're resting when we're actually quitting. We tell ourselves we're doing our best when we know we have 40% more in the tank. The brutal audit. I want you to perform a radical honesty audit. Write down exactly what you did for the last 48 hours, every minute. How much was spent on growth? How much was spent on consumption? How much was spent on ego? Look at the paper. If a stranger looked at that log, would they say, "This is the schedule of a champion," or would they say, "This is the schedule of a spectator"? Facing the rot. If your finances are a mess, it's because you've been dishonest about your spending. If your body is soft, it's because you've been dishonest about your diet. Face the rot. Don't look away. It's supposed to hurt. That pain is the signal that change is required. You cannot fix a wound if you refuse to take off the bandage and look at the infection. Chapter 10. The Vanguard of Action, the Final Charge. We have reached the end of the words, and words are cheap. You can listen to this audiobook 10 times. You can memorize my sentences. You can nod your head and feel inspired. But if you don't do anything, you have simply wasted your time. The law of momentum. Physics tells us that an object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. The hardest part of your transformation is the first 5 minutes. It is the moment you step out of the warm bed into the cold room. It is the moment you pick up the phone to make the hard call. Once you move, momentum takes over. The legacy of the lead. You are the leader of your life. Whether you like it or not, people are watching you. Your children are watching you. Your peers are watching you. Are you showing them how to settle, or are you showing them how to conquer? The challenge. I don't want you to try to change. I want you to commit to one radical act of discipline today, not tomorrow, today. Delete the app that wastes your time. Have the conversation you're terrified of. Work out until you want to vomit. Prove to the universe that you are no longer a passenger. Prove that you are the pilot. The world doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about your results. Now, go out and earn them. The words have stopped. The silence is back. And in this silence, you are faced with a choice. Most people will finish this audio, feel a temporary spark of motivation, and then go right back to the habits that broke them. They will scroll. They will delay. They will settle for good enough while their potential rots in the sun. Don't be most people. You have the blueprint. You have the directions. You have the mirror. Everything you need to rebuild your empire is already in your hands. But remember, knowledge is a burden if you don't use it. If this session challenged you, if it stripped away your excuses, then you owe it to your future self to stay in the fight. Before you step back into the world, comment below with one non-negotiable action you are taking today. Public accountability is the first step towards private discipline. Share this with one person who is tired of being stuck. Liberty is contagious. Subscribe to Liberty Listen to ensure your mind stays sharper than the world that wants to dull it. Your old life ended the moment you decided to lead yourself. Your new life begins the moment you act. No more talking, no more dreaming, no more someday. Go out there, handle your responsibilities, clean up your habits, and own your results. This has been Liberty Listen. The mission is yours. Execute.